Frank and Bud Severino from Daytona Beach, Stacy Cunningham Welch, owner of Cunningham Oil. Is Steve Hasher from Wawa here? Are you here? Steve Hasher from Wawa. You know, Wawa, they now do burgers. You guys have been doing burgers now for a few months, right?
Very good.
Yeah. So, like, they have all the sandwiches, and now they have burgers, which is pretty neat. We got Representatives Federhoff and Webster Barnaby, and we have Senator Tom Wright. Tom Wright has probably been to more of my press conferences than any member of the legislature, more than the leadership even, because he's involved in so many different things. But we're happy to be here. We're not as happy at seeing what's happening with a lot of the inflation that's going on in the economy. If you look, for example, for Thanksgiving, the price of a Thanksgiving dinner is up over 20% just over last year. People are seeing it, all kinds of things that they're having to buy. The prices are going up. So even if you start making more money, if the prices are going up faster than your job, than your wages or your salary is going up, you're actually losing ground in this inflationary economy. And so we think this is a huge problem for working families in Florida. Really, it hits everybody, but it particularly hits people, blue-collar people, people on fixed income. And we've told Biden said that this was not real 6 months ago, that no serious person thought inflation was real. And actually, we now know this is real. We knew then, I said it then, but now everyone acknowledges this is really, really serious. And so how is this hitting people? It's hitting people in a variety of ways, but I think the thing that's been most dramatic for most people, because they deal with this in their everyday lives, is how much gas prices have gone up. You look, if we were sitting here a year ago in Daytona, you could get a gallon of gas. Now it's $3.34. It's $1.31 more than it was a year ago today, just right here. And that's really true throughout the rest of the country. People are having to pay a lot more for gas. And if you think about it, people commuting to work, people having to take care of their kids, do all this stuff. It isn't like you just can't get around anymore and just stop doing the basic things of life. So that's a cost that really gets imposed on a lot of people who are working hard, and this has a huge impact. And so we looked at that, and that's something we're very concerned about. I mentioned a few weeks back we are going to do something about it, and so we're going to announce that in a second. But you know what exacerbates this is these problems with the supply chain. You got all these ships sitting off the coast of California. You know, they used to not even do 24/7. Our ports do 24/7. I mean, we want to do this. We want to get the goods to market. We've rerouted ships from Savannah to Jacksonville, for example, that were waiting off there. And it's a huge problem. You're starting to see more and more problems with that. That contributes to the inflation because you don't have as many goods to market, and so the costs end up going up. And I just wonder, with all these inflationary pressures, you're printing more money is what they're doing. That's not going to help inflation. That's going to exacerbate inflation, and it's a really, really big problem. So Florida has said our ports are open. We absolutely want to have more people bringing in goods here, and if they're sitting idle elsewhere, just reroute to Florida, and we'll make it happen, and we want to do our best to be able to do that. But the gas prices, I think, have been the most noticeable, and so we look to see what we can do. Obviously, this is being driven by inflationary policies out of Washington. It's not something that's, Florida is obviously not causing this. It's happening all across the country. But what could we do to make an impact? And so we've been working on it. We looked at maybe toll relief, maybe this. We're like, you know what? We need to really just focus on gas prices as best we can. So what we're going to be proposing in the next legislative session is over $1 billion in gas tax relief for Florida families. And that's going to make a big, big difference. The average family over a 5 or 6 month period, could save up to $200. And we think it's basically Florida. There's a whole bunch of things that go into the price of gas. There's different taxes, federal, state, local level. We're taking over 25 cents from Florida, and we'll basically zero that out for as long as we can and do over $1 billion. That's going to make a huge, huge deal. We're in great financial shape. We have surpluses. We have the ability to do what we need to do from a standpoint of infrastructure. And so we have folks that are getting hammered by the rising gas prices. and so we're here to do something about it. So we look forward to being able to work through this with the legislature. We've always been very strong on tax relief in Florida. We did things like sportsman's relief. We've done back to school. We've done all that stuff, and that's good. But this is, I think, really, really big to be able to help people. You know, if gas were $1.50 a gallon, you know, maybe it wouldn't be as something that would be as meaningful. But now when it's over $3.30, and it may even end up much higher than that, you know, over the next year, the way things are going. Hopefully not. But that's when you're begging OPEC to do more gas, that's what you don't want to do. We were supposed to be energy independent here in the United States, and they're backing away from that. We should be able to produce what we want here and not have to worry about OPEC. So we're here to offer relief to Florida families. We think it's something that's going to make a big, big difference. And I asked Beaver, when we were thinking about this, I was like, look, this is great, I'm all for it, but if we were to do this and say take away, you know, this part of the Florida tax, would you guys actually lower the price, or would the price be the same? And Beaver said, I would absolutely lower the price. I mean, obviously it's smart because you want to be able to get folks here. And so there's a lot that goes into this. Obviously, supply, demand globally. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But here in Florida, we have companies like Buc-ee's, like Wawa, like these stores, and they are absolutely committed to reducing the price when we end up enacting this. And so that's really what makes a difference. And so I'm really happy that that's being done. And quite frankly, I mean, you know, it's the right thing to do, but it's also smart. You know, a place like Buc-ee's, the more people that come in here, they're not just buying gas, they're buying all this other stuff when there's a lot here to be able to do. So that's really, really good. So I want Beaver to come up. We'll hear from a couple other folks, but this is exciting. We've got to fight back against this inflation. Obviously, I'd like them to reverse course on some of these policies that are causing it, but I'm not holding my breath on that to see D.C. But I do think Florida can come and provide some relief for Florida families. So that's what we're looking to do. Beaver, come on up here.